Hi, I'm Finn, and I'm not normal. Today I'm doing something a little different with the channel, for a college project yet again. I'm bringing you a new gaming related video. In this installation, however, I'll be covering recent gaming news that I found interesting. So without further ado,
let's get right into the news.
Well, didn't think I'd be talking about Fortnite again, did you? The end of 2021 marked the end of Chapter 2, and with it, brought us a whole new slew of content with the game. The biggest and most obvious was the inclusion of a whole new map, which after what I believed to be the best live event in the game's history, in which the map decided it needed 5 more minutes in bed, and completely flipped over. Now comes the part that I'll get the most eye rolls, the crossovers. New in Chapter 3, we have the new point of interest, the Daily Bugle, which any comic fans will know from the Spider-Man universe, and of course, you can't have the Bugle without its most iconic reporter, oh wait, hang on, wrong script. 1 second. Peter Parker, also known as Spider-Man. As well as that, we have the Foundation skin, which at this point you all know to be famous living meme and actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Drive and Power is officially in the Fortnite lore. This chapter has kicked off really strong, as well as all the memes, it has changed some major ways we play the game. Just to name a few, it's now possible to knee slide in the game. This gives you a slightly faster way to move around the map and helps negate full damage when sliding down a massive mountainside. One of the new med items, Med Mist, allows you to heal on the move now. This is huge, as the number of times I've been killed in the storm because I had to stay still waiting for a med kit to kick in is a pain in the arse. The final thing I'll mention, which just so happens to be the biggest, is the inclusion of the Mark 7 rifle, which on the surface just sounds like a fancy new gun you can use to mow down children. But in fact, it is the first gun in the game's history that allows you to go into first person, which has been demanded by players since the game gained relevance in early 2018. Maybe this new addition could be only the start for a roster of first person weapons and items. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Five Nights at Freddys, that's where I wanna be. Five Nights at...
Going from one game ruined by kids to another, the newest installment of the iconic horror series is here, and with it, a bundle of new features and scares. Unlike the previous entry in the series, where you're a security guard character is limited to a chair in a dingy pizzeria office, you play as Gregory, a small child who has been left by his parents in the Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex. As of the recording of this video, the game has received a 97% rating, and there seems to be an overall positive reception to the new release. The biggest and most exciting new feature is actually an entire overhaul of the game's mechanics, which we haven't seen since, well, that game. In Security Breach, you have the massive open environment to explore and absolutely yourselves when running from the animatronics. Though completely scrapping the generic style of the 2014 classic, the developers didn't completely leave it in the bottom of the spiderweb-infested wardrobe. What I mean is that you can still use the Pizzaplex security system to track the animatronics from point A to B. What I like about the game is that it doesn't overwhelm you by allowing you to go anywhere you want at any time. If you want to go further, however, you have to progress through the game to unlock new areas and missions with keycards. Especially for me, playing big, bustling open-world games such as Cyberpunk 2077 and Grand Theft Auto 5 can sometimes be a bit much, whether that be the sheer amount of side missions or just the amount of ground that you can explore. I often find myself feeling less inclined to progress as I don't know where to start. As great a game I've painted this one out to be, it wouldn't be fair not to talk about the issues. For starters, the game dips frame rate way too often from the gameplay that I've seen. The stealth mechanics are absolutely wank, and the enemy AI is just so buggy. As well as that, I've heard some reports that the story content is a bit lacking, and the amount of endings can sometimes be a bit confusing. But anyway, time to move on to the next story. Let me know in the comments if you're considering buying this game.
It's a young Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
After a long, grueling 8 years, GTA 5 is finally doing something the game developers have struggled with ever since they realised how much money they can milk from the sweaty men and children who still play their game, by making more story content. Introducing The Contract, the newest story expansion arriving on the island of Los Santos, making his long-awaited return as everyone's favourite employee of the month.
That you are employee of the month, huh? Anyway, congratulations.
Franklin Clinton. Set years after the events of the main game story mode, after taking down the Union Depository, Franklin has had financial success, which he used to create his own high-profile celebrity fixing agency. The biggest addition to this expansion is the new quest in which you must retrieve none other than Dr. Dre's phone, which has fallen into the wrong hands. After using all your new resources and allies, you'll be able to complete the heist, and after all that hard work, you'll just have barely enough money to afford any of the new stuff. That's right, it's rant time. In typical Rockstar fashion, if you want the newest supercar, be prepared to waste hours of your life grinding for the bare minimum amount of money. I know this is supposed to be a news video, but my god, I hate when a new GTA expansion comes out. Remember this fucker? Yeah, I do. Rockstar seems to think that everyone that plays their game can afford some egregious microtransactions. I remember a time when $1 million would be able to buy you a lot of stuff. Nowadays, $1 million is not even enough to get you a raggedy ass character some decent clothes. Anyway, rant over. Let me know in the comments if you'll be playing the new expansion. Now, on to the last story.
Everyone with me, now!
Now, this is the story I was most excited to cover. Not just because it includes one of my favourite games, but because it genuinely made me chuckle when I read about what was happening. Destiny has recently had its Bungie's 30th anniversary update, and with it, the new Days of Eternity 6-player activity. But there's a problem. This activity is meant for higher level players, but for some reason, the first thing that new players experience when they start the game is not the introduction quest where you fight your way through the Cosmodrome, but instead, you're greeted with this.
Deserve unknowable stars.
Yeah, as you can see, not a fun time for little Timmy who just downloaded the game because he was free. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. After multiple clips of the new lights getting clapped by Taken Cabal went viral, the heroes of the Destiny community, not you Datto, got to work scheming about how to help the new players escape what they believed to be an endless hell. The veterans found that they could purposely lower their power level to match the new players, which in turn would allow them to matchmake with the damsels in distress. This then led to the founding of Operation Rescue. Still going on today, there are countless Discord servers looking for group posts asking people to join in and help with the rescue effort. If I'm honest, I think this story is so humorous to me, as well as interesting, because it's due to the over-the-top effort that has come out of it. It's made me proud to be a gamer, as moments like this, which would bring a community together that usually at each other's throats, it shows a wider picture which relates back to what I discussed in my very first video. The gamers are painted as these sweaty incel criminals that could snap and commit crimes at any moment. But it's wholesome moments like this, no matter how small they may seem, that prove that stupid media companies are wrong, and that no matter how hard they try to drag the amazing hobby of gaming through the mud, there will always be people proving them wrong. Anyway, that brings the first episode of Not Normal News to a close. I really hope you enjoyed the format, and let me know if I should continue with these little videos like this between more long form ones. Until next time, I'm Finn, I'm not normal, and please, stand by.